was always one of my favorite actors and artists. I mean, to this day,
Will
the Men in
Smith
Black
is still
movies
one of
are
my
some
favorite
of my personal
actors
favorites.
ever.
He had a positive, kid-friendly vibe.
Listen, no matter what happens, you can't turn me against Will Smith. Fresh Prince, Men in Black.
That from my point of view was
Hancock,
great, but nowadays
I
it
Am
seems
Legend.
like everyone hates Will Smith for a variety of reasons. Whether it's because of his weak response to his wife cheating on him seemingly selling out, or when he slapped Chris Rock, or just him putting out corny
Was
music
this
on him.
fake? Was this slap real or fake? His marquee top two giving Duncan from Total Mile
selling out, or when he slapped Chris Rock, or just him putting out corny music.
Bad.
It just seems like everyone hates Will Smith now, and the more he tries to fix it, the worse it gets. Lately, it seems like Will Smith has been on a giant PR run over the last couple of years to get everyone to like him again. But like I said, the harder he tries, the worse it gets. For example, recently he put out a single to some very poor reception. It had been like 20 years since he released his own solo music, and his comeback album was pretty weak, but this new song is something else.
Freestyle.
I like pretty.
This one.
Girl.
The song has a pretty rough like to dislike ratio and has been getting torn apart by fans. The video has comments like, "This is hands down got to be the most elaborate way of coming out I've ever seen." Others said things like, "Guantanamo has a new banger for the playlist." Some people were even calling this a humiliation ritual. Other fans on a Will Smith forum really nailed what's going on here, saying, "I get what he's trying to do. It's a song made for TikTok and social media. He's trying to stay relevant. He's riding trends. It doesn't appeal to the old school hip hop heads like most of us. We're all hoping he'll get back in the lab with Jeff, but he's just having fun and trying things. The only problem is it isn't working." Most of Will's problems.
I don't think it's unrealistic for him to slap, or like he wouldn't do it. It's just how sketchy the slap looked, like the form, the reactions.
Began when he slapped Chris Rock live at the Oscars in front of a huge crowd of fellow celebrities back in 2022.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Hey, I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
No, that was, yeah.
The entire internet freaked out on Will, with fans saying things like, everyone would have forgotten that joke in 15 seconds, but Will just made sure everyone remembers it forever. The moment when Will sat down and kept shouting was more awkward than the slap itself. He was upset because his wife Jada has alopecia, which is a condition that causes...
But she doesn't. Like that... I know what alopecia is, and from her haircut right now, it is not showing she has alopecia.
To have to shave her head. Will quickly apologized for this, but it led to multiple film projects.
Like where the pad... Yeah, so it's not even about... It's literally where hair follicles close, and there's no buzz, there's no little tiny hair coming out. There's zero hair growing there altogether.
Projects he was working on being put on hold or canceled. I think the new Bad Boys movie is the only project he put out since that incident.
Yeah,
this was an extremely big deal, and it resulted in Will taking a hiatus. But ever since he's come back to the public eye, it seems like he's doing everything and anything he can do to repair his image. First, he announced that he was coming back to film and music, saying that he was going to release a collab album with Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas is already a rapper that many regard as
Joyner
funny,
Lucas
so I don't know if that was the best move. And throughout
his
career, people have also called Will corny, but because he was so loved by the public and just had the perfect image, it had not mattered. At least until now. He also posted a couple of ads for this zombie game on his YouTube, which was pretty strange considering how much money he's made throughout his career. So I don't know why he did an ad like this. They must have paid him an insane amount of money.
Looks like you made it through the apocalypse. Welcome. Now, if you want to stay alive, here's what you need to know. And pay attention, because trust me, you need this way more than me.
Unsurprisingly, though, the game flopped pretty hard. Regardless, Will Smith started popping up everywhere, whether it was doing interviews, freestyles, or preparing for the rollout of his upcoming album. He then announced that he was putting out his first single in 20 years. On top of tons of interviews, he also put out a freestyle with Lyrical Lemonade that didn't quite get the reception I think he was hoping for.
People ask me how I do it. I just bite off more than I can chew. Then I chew it. Yeah, y'all jokers thought I blew it. I pulled the pin out the grenade on purpose when I threw it. And even though I'm an action star, Sometimes I'ma act bizarre.
The freestyle had comments like,
What?
"You rap like an undercover cop," or "I pulled the pin out of the grenade on purpose when I threw it." Yeah, bro, that's how grenades work. On the bright side, though, Charlemagne liked it.
Lucas.
Nah, Chris hating. Chris over there hating. I can't believe you over there hating on your Philly brother, Chris. Yo, Chris, that was fire. That was fucking fire.
Lol.
Shit.
He even said in an interview about his album that he called Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar asking for advice since it's been so long since he's made music.
You know, I made 2 phone calls. I talked to Jay and I talked to Kendrick, and I was like, "Hey, I wanna get back in music," and it was like, "What's the advice?" And Jay said, like,
Don't do it.
"Don't fake your story," and that's where I got the based on a true story from Jay. And Kendrick, he paused. He said, "Man, just say that shit you always been fucking scared to say."
Sorry, mommy. You gotta say sorry, Will. You gotta say sorry.
I mean, that's Kendrick said that, mommy. I didn't say that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it was like, yeah, it's basically the same thing. And it was like, be honest.
But unfortunately, this advice didn't seem to really
Lol.
help him. Or maybe he just didn't take it. Another really strange thing, though, that he's been doing lately is developing a friendship with KSI, where they've been posting a bunch of YouTube videos. And he's also been collaborating with XQC, which is even more strange.
What?
With XQC.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
So clearly, Will
He's
is doing
hanging
that
out with
strategy that a lot of
XQC
young
since
artists
when?
are doing, which is collaborating with influencers or YouTubers or streamers. However, I think a Kai Cenat stream, first of all, would have made more sense and probably done better for him. But either way, he just doesn't quite appeal to
Damn.
these younger audiences the way that a lot of these other artists do. He doesn't really have that chemistry with these guys. Regardless, though, like I said, it's
Nikki, that
obvious
Nikki
he's been
stream
on
was
a
nice.
huge PR run lately. I mean,
For a
there's
black
probably
hole.
like 50
Dude, the Thick of It featuring Will Smith remix.
interviews he's done in the last 3 months,
Alone
and it all
Again.
just seems so forced, which
Blackberry.
brings us back to his latest track,
Who
Pretty
called my
Girls.
phone?
This song, with his current public perception, his age, and the type of
Yeah,
stuff
it's
music
so
fans are listening
weird.
to these days, it couldn't have backfired harder.
Will Smith is how old?
57.
The stimulus plan that you naming is not working today for 50 however year old Will Smith. I don't think this is a bad song, but we can't pump this up like this is about to do something.
Even before this song, his other
Damn.
tracks that he put out recently are also very defensive of the status of his career. His album, based on a true story, came out in March of 2025 with a
He
few
dropped
good
an album? I've never even heard of it. Stuck in the 80s and early
features,
90s.
but it failed the chart. And some of the tracks off that album seem very self-aware of
Again.
where his career
And it failed to chart? That's crazy. You think Will Smith could at least get on the top 200?
is at. Like the song Barbershop Day that says things like, "Who the fuck Will Smith think he is? And that boy damn crazy how he raising them kids." Bottom line, y'all, Will Smith is whack. Him and Jada both crazy. What you talking about? And there are plenty of other people that feel this way.
When I look at all these interviews he's doing lately and consider it alongside this recent album cycle, which feels a bit defensive in songs like Interior Barbershop, and trying to remind us all what we liked about him with Pretty Girls, which, let's be honest, feels like a past its sell-by-date holdover from his Fresh Prince persona, it paints a picture, at least to me,
Damn.
of an artist that's trying to figure out where
That
he
was
fits
the
into this
norm.
current
What up,
landscape.
dog?
I mean, these songs really demonstrate
they're-
Will's insecurities with all of the public scrutiny
corny.
he's gotten, which is why everyone thinks that all of these songs, interviews, freestyles, and appearances are all just fake. Simply PR moves to win the public back over. And maybe I'm biased because I like Will Smith. I think he's cool and he's doing a lot of what he's already done throughout his career, but there are some very understandable and underlying reasons.
Why would he
as
give
to
a
why
fuck if
people
the
are
public
taking it
likes
differently
him?
this time.
I feel
and-
like when you start caring if the public likes you or whatever, that's when they're gonna start hating you even more.
why people just don't like him as much in general. And it also didn't just start with him slapping Chris Rock at the
I
Oscars.
didn't-
It runs a lot
I liked
deeper
him
than
more
that.
after he
and to
did
truly
that.
understand why Will is forcing it so hard with this PR run, these interviews, and this music, we have to understand him a little
man.
bit better. Will actually got his early public recognition from hip-hop.
Was
His music
that-
career started alongside his duo DJ Jazzy Jeff. Their hip-hop duo, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, ended up going on a pretty hot run. From 1985 to 1994, they put out 5 studio albums, which all had 5 Billboard Hot 100 Top 20 singles. Along
Damn.
with this, Will also went on to have a bit of a solo career in music as well, releasing 4 albums from 1997 to 2005, with his last project, Lost and Found, creating 2 US #1 hit singles. Throughout his recording career, it might sound Jeff will
Damn.
find out that he's actually
Like following a PR company's playbook. That's actually crazy. I didn't know he had that many musical accomplishments.
won 4 Grammy Awards and was nominated for another 4, which he didn't end up getting. But what's even crazier is that him and DJ Jazzy Jeff were the first to ever win a Grammy for Best Rap Performance for their 1989 song Parents Just Don't Understand. But an interesting factor that played a role in his success was the fact that he never swore in his music. Will really had this family-friendly, positive, PG-13 vibe that was perfect for everyone to listen to. He made goofy songs that had cool
I'll miss
stories,
you, Jeff.
and they were just fun to
Love
listen
you, bro.
to. Will
Thanks
even
for
mentioned this
chilling.
in his song Freakin' It with the line, "Mr. Clean, yet the fact remain. Got girls that don't speak English screaming my name. All you rappers yelling about who you put in a hearse, do me a favor, write one verse without a curse." This comment was at the
Damn.
1999 MTV VMAs, which really upset some other rap artists.
I want to say to all my fans out there, I never killed nobody in none of my records. I don't use no profanity in none of my records, and still I managed to get up here. Peace.
Will's lines in Freakin' It and I'm Coming
Damn.
likely played a role in angering some, but it was the end of his 1999 speech which really upset Eminem, who took it all as disrespect. That's why Eminem said in his song The Real Slim Shady, "Will Smith don't got a cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do, so f him and f you too." Eminem
That's
also
funny.
further acknowledged the diss during an MTV special.
If I want to diss somebody, then I'll diss him. I'll just come out and say, Will Smith. And he dissed the whole gender of rap. He dissed gangster
You say
rap
the
music.
gender?
I respect him for saying his opinion, but not everybody is as happy as
Genre?
Will Smith. So if he sees life, about birds and bees and
What
wants to
up,
rap
Parrot?
about flowers, then
Put-
let him
put
rap
Parrot?
about birds and bees and flowers. But
To
don't
drop
diss
some
nobody
diss
else.
track.
Not
I
feel
got-
like
I
he's
got
just
some
taking a
disses I can
stab at
drop.
me and Dre and anybody who uses profanity on a record to express themselves. If you feel strong enough about something, then you might put a little before you say exactly what you're saying.
Then 5 years later, Will responded with a verse on his song Mr. Nice Guy saying, "Dissed by Eminem, but did it bother him? Yup, but he classy. Big Will just get another 20 mil, walk right past E. I'm a nice guy, why y'all harassing me?" This feud goes to show that while Will Smith was highly revered in rap, there were those that had their problems with him and even viewed his raps as corny. Also, of
Imagine
course,
if
while
Will
his
Smith,
rap career
Eminem,
was very
like,
successful,
full-on diss
his
track
acting
beef.
career was arguably leagues ahead. That's because he appeared in multiple classics like the TV show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and movies like Bad Boys, The Pursuit of Happiness, Men in
Such a
Black,
good
I Am
movie.
Legend, Shark Tale, and many more. On Fresh Prince, Will played a fictionalized version of himself, and for this role, he even ended up being nominated for a Golden Globe, which, if you ask me, simultaneously winning awards
Getting
in a rap
snapped,
career
I
and an
know,
acting
dude.
career and being like one of the goats of
We
both
wouldn't have
is
even been
really impressive. Like, even if you're not a
conscious
huge movie
for it
fan, I'm
back in
sure
the day,
most people
but
watching have their favorite Will
watching it
Smith
after the
movie,
fact
which you
would be
can't
funny.
say about a lot of actors. Across acting and music, Will has won 25
You've never seen The
major awards
Pursuit
and
of
was nominated
Happiness?
for
Yeah, he won a
75.
Grammy for
And the
it.
main reason for this
It's
was
such a good-
because
it's a
Will
sad
Smith had
movie.
crafted the perfect, lovable, family-friendly, and charismatic personality that was absolutely perfect for the entertainment industry. Unfortunately, though, this would not last forever. Acting and music were not the only places that Will succeeded in. He was also known to be quite the family man. In a time where celebrity marriages felt like they ended as soon as they started, the Smiths always stood out. Jada and Will went public with their relationship back in
Damn.
1995 and got married in 1997
Yeah,
after meeting a
damn.
few years before on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. At this point, Jada was already also a successful actor, so when the two bonded, a power couple was born. In 1998, they had their son Jaden, and 2 years later, they had their daughter Willow. And Will also had another kid named Trey with someone else. However, both Jaden and Willow
Yeah,
quickly followed
Trey
in their
Smith
parents'
is
footsteps,
never talking
starring
about
alongside their father in multiple
Jada
projects.
from
For Jaden, you
Baltimore,
might
that explains
recognize
a
seeing
lot.
a young version of him in
The
The
corner I
Pursuit of
grew up.
Happiness. And for Willow, she can be seen in I Am Legend. However, it wasn't just acting either. Jaden and Willow also both got into music as well.
Jaden Smith, one good song, icon. Willow Smith, she's got a couple really good songs.
With the two reaching pretty
That's
decent
supposed to
levels of
mean
success.
nothing,
From the
nothing,
outside,
bro.
it all
Shout out
kind of seemed
Baltimore.
like this was the perfect star-filled family, especially compared to the typical Hollywood burnouts and scandal-filled family lives. Will and Jada were included in a lot of power couple lists, and it just seemed like the perfect Hollywood marriage. However, it was not all perfect. In 2013, rumors began to swirl about some potential trouble in paradise. Some rumors started going around where fans speculated that
Will Smith and his damn goatee, bro.
Will and Jada had an open marriage. A big part of what started this rumor was when Jada said to HuffPost Live, "I've always told Will, you can do whatever you want as long as you can look yourself in the mirror and be okay. Because at the end of the day, Will is his own man. I'm here as his partner, but he is his own man. He has to decide who he wants to be, and that's not for me to do for him, or vice versa." After this, fans started talking, so Jada quickly responded on Facebook saying, "Will and I both can do whatever we want because we trust each other to do so. This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one." And she didn't technically say that they don't have an open relationship, so fans continued going crazy with the rumors. Around this time, another rumor spawned because people were wondering if Will was having an affair with his Focus co-star at the time, Margot Robbie.
And the fact that he didn't is a throw.
Because of some scandalous pictures of the two that
grows a
leaked.
person.
But they both shot this down pretty quickly, saying they were just having fun. However, the once perfect couple was not entirely out of the woods at this point. In 2015, when the two appeared on Howard Stern together discussing their relationship, people started questioning Jada again after she said, "I'm not the kind of woman that believes that a man's not going to be attracted to other women. It's just not realistic. And just because your man is attracted to another woman doesn't mean he doesn't love you, and it doesn't mean he's going to act on it." On top of this, 2 months later, Will took his turn jumping on Facebook to address the potential divorce rumors, saying, "Under normal circumstances, I don't usually respond to foolishness because it's contagious, but so many people have extended me their deepest condolences that I figured, what the hell, I can be foolish too." So in the interest of redundant, repetitious, over and over againness, Jada and I are not getting a divorce. I promise you all, if I ever decide to divorce my queen, I swear I'll tell you myself. Then when it finally seemed like they were both going to be okay and it was just rumors, going around on the internet, in 2016 the two quietly separated but did not get a divorce. This news didn't actually end up coming out though until 2023 in an interview with the Today Show, and in this interview Jada said that by 2016 we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were still both kind of stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be, but we'll go more into this later. In 2017, Will publicly celebrated 20 years of marriage with a long-worded, heartfelt post, which is kind of sad because Jada had just said in an interview regarding them constantly being called swingers, "That's the craziest one. It's constant." And I'm like, yo, I wish. Poor Will Smith, man. Then the following year, Will mentioned that the two don't consider themselves as married anymore, but rather as life partners. And it got way worse after Jada had met the musician August Alsina. She had mentioned before that he was a dear family friend who she met in 2015 after he performed with her son Jaden. Then things took a disastrous turn in 2019 when he alluded to having a relationship with Jada in his music video for the song Nunya. At this point, the rumors picked up again and were going crazy. And in 2020, things were officially confirmed by Alsina when he gave some insight on his and Jada's relationship. In an interview with Angela Yee, he spoke about how he gave years of his life to a relationship with Jada. He even said, "I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing. I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. I truly and really, really deeply love and have a ton of love for her." Then the following month is when Jada decided to have Will on her podcast, The Red Table Talk Show, and this was the viral entanglement episode. During the awkward conversation, Jada confirmed that there was in fact a romantic relationship between herself and August Alsina.
"You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided..."
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that though.
Yeah.
I get these talks need to happen and like getting comfortable, but putting this shit on motherfucking a podcast on TV, like they should have just kept this shit private.
Have that.
Yeah, we basically we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yes.
Keep the doors closed.
Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship.
She detailed that the relationship lasted 4.5 years while her and Will were separated, and it came at a point where she wasn't sure if her and Will's relationship would ever
They were together for
They also discussed
keep the
Alsina's
doors
false claims that
closed.
he talked to Will and got permission, stating that it was
4.5 years together.
just an attempt to clear his name in case people were calling him a homewrecker. Then she basically said that, yeah, I ended it with Alsina and now I'm back with you and it's a miracle. But after that train wreck of a media display and yet another weird twist, Will went on a GQ interview muddying the water further. In this, he seemingly tried to cover his own ass a bit, saying that she wasn't the only one hooking up with other people, all while not going into too much detail.
Bro, you need the mustache, Will, if you're gonna do that. Only 4 years of... No, they were married for 20 or 25 plus years. She was with another man for 4 years during their marriage. Of the entanglement.
Will explain that throughout their long marriage,
Jada
the two
Pinkett does to
constantly
you.
had issues with defining what perfect looked like, and while monogamy was the main choice, it clearly wasn't always the only one. Oh, and
Yo, Star Sister. Thanks for
Jada
the
used to
follow.
be with Tupac, and that still haunts Will to this day. Will Smith had spent
Damn.
years, decades, perfecting the perfect PR public image, which was him being a charismatic, lovable, family man, PG-13, family friendly, all of those things. The drama with Jada, and it wasn't entirely her fault, but it, you know, she kind of sucks. It just completely destroyed this image that he had been developing. And as his name had constantly been getting dragged through the mud, we finally come back to the slap. Now, personally, I don't even think the slap was that big of a deal.
Who cares,
Obviously,
bro?
it was bad, but
Slapping
it just
motherfuckers is
completely
fun.
ravaged his career in a way that I don't even think was fair. But the reason this happened is because his career has really relied on his image, which had been really hurt by the slap. One fan said on a video about the state of Will's career, "The problem is that post-slap, you can no longer see him as the cool under pressure, unflappable leading man, the type character he became famous for playing." Another said, Will
Review
Smith's whole
slap,
career was
Jim Mama.
powered solely by his likability. He doesn't have that
I got my
anymore.
Drake
On top of that, he
fix,
slapped Chris Rock for
I was talking about Market Drake. I wasn't even talking about actual Drake.
woman who had drug his name through the mud for like the last decade, but somehow it gets
That was a
worse.
lie.
After this incident, an old video that Jada posted resurfaced and had fans feeling a type of way about her.
How you doing, Star?
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, bitch.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just.
Would you say
This
that
is so
she helped us
awkward.
heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot.
And this clip was really sad. I mean,
What
it
the
seemed like Will
fuck?
was on the verge of
Music.
tears. But rather than trying to get Will out of what seemed like a toxic relationship, the internet did what they did best and made fun of him. Everyone
That's
clowned on Will Smith for
crazy.
being a weak man and not standing up for himself. Like this tweet that says, Jada got Will looking like he back in the pursuit of happiness. Or this
That's
one that says, the Fresh
crazy.
Prince of Despair. Even 50 Cent joined in on clowning Will,
Well,
DMing him saying, "Yo, Will, you alright over there?" Will responded, "Yes, I'm cool. Appreciate your concern, my brother." Which, pause real quick, Will was like probably really sad and was really happy that 50 reached out
Music.
just for this to happen. 50 says, "But why she tell you that shit on a show for everybody to see?" Will says, "We broke up, so she did her and I did me." And then 50 goes, "Then she said only she can give permission for somebody to blow her back out." To which Will said, "Fuck you, 50. However, some fans do feel
What
bad,
the
saying
fuck?
things like, all the major signs
The
of a
big
broken
ass troll.
man controlled
Yeah, I do not want 50 Cent in my corner when I'm going through some shit.
and imprisoned by a toxic
Again, to make
woman.
fun of
Or
him.
if he left Jada, it would probably be the best thing not only for his career but his family and most importantly himself. So him slapping Chris Rock at an
50
award
loves
ceremony
tea.
for a woman who
They
drug
really
his
do.
name through the mud for years, on top of the
He's
very
always
obvious PR
making
stuff he's been
comments and
doing
takes
lately,
on
is what has really
hip-hop,
landed Will Smith in the rough spot that
Hollywood
he's
drama.
in. Oh, and apart from Bad Boys, he's had a pretty rough run of movies lately too. Will Smith is still a very iconic, legendary, well-respected actor and musician. His accolades speak for themselves. However, lately he has been tarnishing his legacy for the sake of trying to get the public to like him again and clean up his image, rather than just saying, "Hey, I'm 56, I'm the GOAT. Who cares that I slapped some guy and that my wife sucks?" I still love Will Smith.
Damn.
I still love his movies, and his music's
Love
never
Will
really been my
Smith.
favorite. I'm
He
a younger guy
deserves
that's kind of
it.
out of my generation.
Yeah, I
but
fuck
it's
with
not like the
50.
new song he put out, Pretty Girls, is the worst thing ever.
I
The
couldn't
new Bad
do
Boys movie
a lot
went
of my
over well
work without
too.
50,
I think
bro.
if he just focuses more on being
Some of
himself
everyone's
rather than the
favorite club
family-friendly,
bangers
perfect
to
celebrity
this
he has
day
always tried to
are still
portray
50 Cent.
and stops popping up on every possible platform in the world, he would be a lot happier and fans would respect it more. That's just my opinion though, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like this video, you might like my video about another rapper from that era, Jay-Z, and his ambitious yet unsuccessful project.